I'm Katie McGuire, and I'm here to show you how to make my family's tried and true recipes from McGuire's kitchen to yours. Okay, so today we are going to be making what I think is one of McGuire's most unique dishes, and that's gonna be the Reuben egg roll. Basically what the Reuben egg roll is a Reuben sandwich, but instead of wrapped up in bread, it's wrapped up in a crispy, delicious wonton. I personally flash fry mine, and that's how it's done at the restaurant, but you can also oven bake them at 350 degrees. It's kind of what you wanna do, but I'm gonna do the flash fried way today. So what we're gonna start out with is corned beef, which I made earlier today. And this took about 4 hours for me to make. I feel like corned beef and egg rolls in general, people get scared of because they sound intimidating. It's actually a very simple dish to make. The corned beef I bought from the store. It's basically like a tougher brisket that's been brined in salt. I think the best way personally to cook out some of the salt that's in there, while it does give it that delicious flavor and make it less tough, I think the best way to cook the corned beef is to boil it over the oven for about 4 hours, I think I did this morning, and I just put some pickling spices like peppercorns in it. Definitely don't add any more salt to it. Once that's done and nice and tender, I rough coarse chopped it, and that is how we got this delicious corned beef that we're gonna use as our base in our filling. So next we are going to use sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is a hit or a miss for people, I think. Some people really like sauerkraut and some people really don't like sauerkraut. And you can use less or more, like you don't have to use as much as the recipe calls for. Do whatever you feel. Some people only need a little taste of sauerkraut. So next we're gonna add shredded Swiss cheese. And that really helps balance out the sauerkraut and the corned beef flavors that you have in there. And our final ingredient is gonna be caraway seeds, which actually gives a ton of flavor to this dish. They add a lot to it. It's not just one of those spices that you can say, oh, I'm not gonna add this in there. You really do need that. And we're gonna actually mix all of this together. And another cool thing about this recipe is that it was featured on the Food Network. One of the chefs on the Food Network chose this as the best thing I ever ate on the Food Network. It was an episode called The Extraordinary Episode, and since it's an egg roll, it was technically considered an egg category, which is interesting. But we took it gladly, and they came out and shot, and it was a really cool experience for all of us, and to be on the Food Network, that's awesome. So yeah, this dish is a very special dish for us. Okay, so now that we have this nice filling mixture that's gonna go inside of the egg roll, I'm going to get my egg wash ready that we're gonna brush on top of the wonton whenever we are ready to do so, right before frying. So I had a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of water already in there, and now we're just gonna mix them together. So one other thing that I've realized when working with egg roll wrappers is that you wanna keep them as cold as possible until right before you're about to fry them, because they do get really, really soggy. So it's kind of one of those things where you have to work pretty fast to do it. So mine are still in the refrigerator. Let's get those out. And we will start with this one. You can do it diagonally, you can do it vertically, whichever your heart desires. Get a nice amount. I haven't really perfected the amount. It's however big you want your egg rolls to be. Mine usually end up coming out pretty small, and I like it like that for portion sizes, but if you want a bigger egg roll, make a bigger egg roll. I like to put mine directly in the center and then fold over the back first, tuck it under, kind of get all that good stuff in there, and then you're gonna fold your edge over, fold over. And like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. And it is what you make it, and that's what's kind of cool about making McGuire's at home, is that you can do it to your liking, which is awesome in my opinion. So I'm going to move over here. I've got my little brush that I'm gonna brush on the egg wash that we just made. So we've got that going, and you kind of have to work a little fast It already feels soggier. I'm gonna do the bottom seam side down. All right, so while my egg roll, I'm gonna keep an eye on it because it will burn really fast if I don't. So we're gonna work pretty fast with this, but I'm gonna show you guys how to do one the horizontal way instead of just the diagonal way. So I've got my filling, fold over my corners, fold over, just kind of wrap it up. Like I said, don't be afraid of your egg roll. It's not scary, it's very simple. So let's check, make sure this isn't burning. Nope. Got our egg wash. We will paint really fast. And honestly, as soon as these get wet, they get soggy. So this is already like the second I put egg wash on it, it started getting soggy. So just keep that in mind that you do need to work pretty fast. All right, so these look perfect. This is the color that you would like to see on a nice egg roll. We can pat them off a little bit and then we're gonna cut into them. Just so you can see the inside, like it really doesn't get much better than this. If you're eating fried food, you need a good sauce. Sauce is the best part of fried food. You're not going to Chick-fil-A and not getting Chick-fil-A sauce. You have to have a good sauce. And that is the same with these egg rolls. They're so good with the Thousand Island dressing. So if you make these egg rolls at home, be sure to get Thousand Island dressing to go with it. Dip it right in, and it's ready. And that is how you make the famous McGuire's Reuben egg rolls directly from your kitchen at home.